I'm Sharon Valverde Vargas. Coming up, we will talk about how weather affected Weber State University students.
I'm Weston Slight. What are things you wish you knew before starting college?
And I'm Kai Nunez, and after winning the third straight Big Sky title, what's next for the football team as they enter the playoffs? Find out on this edition of Weber State University News.
According to Lord of Winterfell, Jon Snow, the Game of Thrones, winter is coming, but winter has officially come to the northern Wasatch Front with declining temperatures, worsening road conditions, and record-setting snowfalls in some areas. The day before Thanksgiving, students on Weber State University's campus saw just how quick a winter storm can change their environment. From slick walkways to blizzard-like conditions, Just take an extra caution with this winter. Reporter Landon Griffith was the one on the scene during the first winter storm's aftermath.
As reported by the Utah Highway Patrol, within the last 24 hours there have been reported 270 wrecks statewide. Two of the wrecks, two Highway Patrol officers have been hit by oncoming cars. Both officers are expected to make a full recovery, but it just goes to show what kind of conditions we're expecting this winter. In some areas, there have been reported up to 26 inches just up here in the Ogden Valley.
Me too. Thanks, Landon. It doesn't look like the winter season will end quickly either. Northern Utah is expected to receive a snow over the course of the next 7 days. So if you're a skier, you're definitely in for a treat. Some ways to take caution are to drive at slower speeds, use snow tires, and avoid high traffic areas, especially if the weather conditions aren't manageable. Latinx students held a special event for graduation, and I have the story.
Weber State's Office of Access and Diversity and Metro Organization is hosting their second inaugural Latinx grad ceremony in spring 2020. Cristian Gutierrez is a college advisor helping put the LGC ceremony together for the Latinx students for their second year.
I want the Latinx grad to reach that level of prestige where it's known in the community, where you have high school students saying, I can't wait to go to Weber so I can graduate with that stole.
Weber State has a history of serving students in diverse communities and helping them reach new heights.
That bilingual aspect, that cultural aspect, things that no other celebration can provide, and something that we can with our program.
This year, we're doing the second Latinx grad ceremony here at Weber State University. Spring 2019 was the first one where 50 Latina students graduated with associates, bachelors, and masters. Now for the second one, which is going to be in spring 2020, people from fall 2019, spring 2020, and summer 2020 are able to graduate and celebrate this with their family and loved ones. I'm Sharon Valverde Vargas with Weber State News.
Thanks, Sharon. The forests of the western United States are currently facing an assault from mismanagement, bark beetles, and warming climate. Wildfires have increasingly become more devastating since 1910. Dr. Jesse Morris, a University of Utah geography professor, addressed these concerns to Weber State University students as part of the Utah Feature lecture series November 19th. Morris shared his expertise about researching Utah's forest ecosystems. According to Morris, humans can exercise a certain degree of control over its sources of ignitions of a forest fire. As wildfires become more prevalent and more devastating in the western United States, scientists are hoping to help federal and state management agencies make wiser decisions. Morris hopes that research like his will help policymakers and the public rethink the way they approach fire and forest management.
When the conversation inevitably shifts to restoration targets, so after the fire, after the beetles, I'm obviously somewhat biased towards the ecological data, but we also have to figure out how to get to the stakeholder perspective. Who uses the land? What do they expect? If this is going to work, we have to have everybody at the table.
Morris claims modern forestry management started after the Big Burn of 1910. 3 million acres of forest burned within a 2-day period. 87 firefighters perished and damaged property was extensive. According to Morris, current policies all allow overgrown forests emergencies. These overgrown forests provide an abundance of fuel for potentially deadly fires. Every artist was their first amateur. Last week, artists had a chance to show off their skills during Weber State University's Bachelor's of Fine Arts thesis exhibition. Tori Waltz was on the scene and has the story.
The BFA exhibit's opening reception kicked off on November 22nd and invited Weber State seniors pursuing a Bachelor of Fine Arts degree to display their best artwork to students, professors, family, and friends in the Mary Elizabeth D. Shaw Gallery. This year had 9 students participate with projects ranging from elaborate sculptures and paintings to immersive video illustrations. One of these students, Whitney Barnes, who is a senior studying graphic design, has been preparing for this event all semester.
There's a long process. A big part of it is research because you have to really understand the design problem at hand and its complexity in order to make creative decisions that are appropriate for the brand.
Inspired by her grandfather to become an artist, Barnes hopes to make him proud through showcasing her work at this exhibit.
Personally, I've come a long way from when I started school, and I wanted my branding to be very warm and welcoming and inviting and just a little more playful and fun, and I wanted to show that you can do that in design and break the rules a little bit.
In addition to showing off specific pieces they were proud of, Barnes and the other BFA students also created hand-designed deliverables that allowed each attendee to take a little piece of art with them home forever. For Weber State News, I'm Tori Waltz.
Hey, thanks, Tori. Oh, have you ever wished that you could tell your younger self things you know now? The topic, Things I Wished I Knew in College, was a discussion during the Ralph Nye Lecture Series Lectures event on 21st of November. Jessica Clark has the story.
Adam Helwell, the Chief Technology Officer at Radiant Technologies, spoke at the event. Helwell explained his list of things he wished he knew in college. First, build a network with business partners, life partners, and teachers. Second, understand the language of business and find sources of passive income. Third, ask for help and let failure motivate you. Francisco Ruiz, an attendee, thought Helwell gave fascinating insights.
Really appreciated him just kind of sharing from his own personal experience and his own successes and failures and the things that he wished that he had learned, because now I'm going to be able to take those that list that he shared and really apply it to like my future jobs and future educational experiences.
Helwell also highlighted the importance of developing job skills. These skills, in addition to a college degree, are vital in today's economy. Helwell said his motivation to develop skills helped him pursue a job that he enjoys.
Get some skills that are going to make you employable, because the degree by itself isn't. Because you don't have anything that sets you apart. You need to do things that set you apart.
Throughout the semester, the focus of the Ralph Nye Lecture Series has been to share experiences and philosophies from business and government leaders.
The last Ralph Nye Lecture Series lecture for this semester is on December 5th. For Weber State University News, I'm Jessica Clark.
Well, thank you, Jessica, for covering for that story. But now let's transition that into sports. The Weber State University football team won the third straight Big Sky Conference title over a win over Idaho State on November 23rd. The Wildcats earned a first-round bye and are the number 3 seed in the FCS playoffs. The final score was 38-10. Weber State entered the match looking to earn their 9th win and a seed in the FCS playoffs. The Wildcats jumped out to an early lead by halftime. They were winning by a score of 31-0.
It's business as usual, but now every game gets bigger and bigger, and we know that, and every game gets huge. Win in advance is the best part about college football at this level is if you keep winning, you win something special.
Weber State totaled 443 yards of offense compared to 186 for the Bengals, resulting in the fewest points allowed by the Wildcats in a game this season. And with the win, the Wildcats advanced to the playoffs for the 4th straight year. The first game of the FCS playoffs for the Wildcats is on December 7th at 1 p.m. at Stewart Stadium. The Cats will face Kennesaw State, who took down Wofford in a close first-round matchup. Yep. And the Weber State University hockey team looked to keep their winning ways during the Beehive Showcase at the ice sheet on campus. Reporter Brandon May has the story.
The Weber State University hockey team took the ice for 4 games and 4 nights in the Beehive Showcase, having won 3 games straight. The Wildcats have struggled in recent years in the showcase, but after beating Boise State Broncos 4-3 and Northern Arizona 2-1, the Cats look to change their struggles into success.
Taking away the fact that our boys played hard all weekend. They worked hard. 4 games in a weekend's tough. It's constant. You get done, you got to go home, you got to get rest, you got to hydrate, you got to eat, you got to get fuel, and then you got to get here and get ready again. And so it's super hard to stay focused for 4 straight games, and they were awesome.
Weber State continued the showcase on Saturday, falling to Northern Colorado 3-2 before jumping out early and defeating the Sun Devils of Arizona State 6-1. The last few seasons, WSU has finished the showcase with just 1 win, but after finishing the weekend 3-1, the Cats are ranked 3rd in the West.
We've been on a really good run the last month or so, and we just want to keep that up. So we have goals to win the state, and obviously beating BYU keeps us in line with those goals. That's what we're looking to do.
The Wildcats hit the road for their last game of 2019 and returned to the ice sheet on January 10th versus BYU and January 11th versus UVU. For Weber State News, I'm Brandon May.
Hey, thanks, Brandon. So many people consider Weber State University to be a commuter school where students return home or live off campus after each day's classes. Reporter Ian Syme discovered that for some students, the school is more of a permanent living space, even during the holidays. He has more from the Wildcat Village.
The Thanksgiving holiday brought icy roads and chilly conditions to Ogden City and the Weber State campus. Although many students were able to make it home for the holidays, some still had to stay here on campus and celebrate the holiday with their roommates and others in the dorms.
Those who remained here at the residence halls were stranded for a variety of reasons. Lots of new snow, job requirements, and long-distance travel kept some students from leaving campus. Freshman Avery Knab cited the long distance to her hometown for keeping her in Ogden during Thanksgiving.
So I live in Omaha, Nebraska, and the plane ticket was too expensive.
Lack of money keeps some students from traveling home for every holiday. The need for money, on the other hand, along with Black Friday, means that some students must work through the Thanksgiving break. Other students just want time to study and prepare for their finals. Students were still able to celebrate the holiday despite the challenges that came about. Junior Colin Hiziak couldn't make it home to Park City due to the weather and spent the break cooking and playing games with friends.
I wouldn't cook food down here. I didn't cook turkey, but I cooked chicken breast and just ate with some friends.
Some Wildcats weren't able to go over the river and through the woods to grandmother's house, but they were still able to stay out of the cold and have a great time here in Ogden. For Weber State News, this is Ian Syme.
Thanks, Ian. It sure is an exciting time to be a Wildcat, especially with the holidays approaching and football playoffs continue.
Absolutely, but also be sure to remember to support the football team on Saturday as the Cats strive for their first ever FCS championship and, of course, dress warm.
Speaking of dressing warm, it's pretty bad out there, but the roads are clear enough. But that's all we have for you guys tonight. Thanks for tuning in.